Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to another Rookie Card Collector 123 video. In today's episode, we are going to take a look at 10 more cards from my personal collection. Today's going to be all baseball, a couple of pre-war, some Golden Age, a few different oddball cards. So, as usual, a little bit of everything. Some things on the pretty rare side, some things a little more common. So the first card we're going to take a look at today is a 1965 Joe Morgan rookie. And this looks just like the Topps version, but this is actually an O-Pee-Chee from Canada, which makes it much more difficult to find. Populations on these are probably around 5 to 10% of what the Topps population would be. This pictures him with his teammate Sonny Jackson. This is on the Houston Colt 45s before they became the Astros the following season. So 1965 O-Pee-Chee Joe Morgan. This one got a 4 designation from SGC. Looks like real nice centering. The top to bottom is a little bit off. But really nice card. The back is clean also, as you can see there, and has the printed in Canada designation in the bottom corner there to differentiate it from the Topps Joe Morgan. So 65 O-Pee-Chee Joe Morgan rookie. Next up is a very early Willie Mays card. This one is a 1952 Redman Tobacco. So it's got a really nice artwork image of Mays with a bright orange background. He's got a bio along with his stats in the box just above it. The bottom underneath, this one still has the tab attached. These were used to redeem for coupons for Redman tobacco products. The majority of these have the tab cut off. This one still has the tab intact, which greatly increases the value of it. Makes it also much tougher to find. SGC has given this one a 4.5, which is a relatively high grade for the Redman tobaccos with tabs still attached. This is a real early second year Willie Mays card. The only thing that predates this one would be the 51 Bowman rookie card. Otherwise, Mays has the 52 Topps, 52 Burke Ross, 52 Star Cal decal. He has this one, and I might be leaving out something, but super early Willie Mays, really nice condition. 52 Redman with the tab still attached. Next one we're going to look at is a first year that they made Bazooka Bubblegum cards of baseball players. So this is a 1959 Bazooka Mickey Mantle. 59 was the only year where they made a single player card on the box. After that, they would make the baseball cards in 3-card panels that would all be side by side right next to each other on the bottom of the box. This one is a single card, and it's about double, roughly double or a little more than double the size of what the 1960 and later Bazooka card size would look like. So these were much larger, 1 card per box. Very tough set to find. Even tougher to find with the complete box still intact, such as the one with the mantle. Those bring a lot of money. This mantle's, they're hand cut out of the box, off of the box bottom. This one has pretty wide, clean borders. Probably good enough to actually get a numerical grade. This one's got an authentic from PSA, and the reason is the bottom corner here, the tip of the corner is missing, and by that tip of the corner being missing, the card therefore does not have complete borders all the way around, so that's why PSA will only grade it as authentic and not give it a numerical grade. But a real nice mantle other than the missing corner. Don't see any creases in it. The back is also very clean. No writing, nothing on it. So for the grade, a super value mantle to pick up. 1959 Bazooka. And to go with the mantle, we've got a 59 Bazooka Willie Mays card. Willie Mays, also full size, one card per box. Mays has the bright blue and yellow and orange colors on the bottom. Makes it a real attractive looking card. Maze also has the wide borders all the way around. This one was given a numerical grade of a 1. The reason for the 1 is the front looks really nice, but the back has writing on it, which I'll show you in a second. But beautiful Willie Mays 59 Bazooka, great portrait image of him. The back of the card has just somebody drew like a square, um, some sort of design on the back. Otherwise, the back is clean also. And so really nice, tough to find 59 Bazooka Maze, SGC1. Next card we're going to look at is another bazooka. This is one of the panels I mentioned to you. After 59, the bazooka company would produce 3 cards side by side in a panel format. So this one has Mickey Mantle here. Dick Groat, the Pirates second baseman, next to him. He was actually with the Cardinals at that point. And Steve Barber, who was a pitcher for the Baltimore Orioles during the 60s alongside Groat. So nice 3-card panel. It's got the black dotted lines all the way around, which means that PSA will give it a numerical grade. And this one received a PSA 4 MK. The MK is for writing on the back, which I'll show you in a second. So the mantle card is really clean, nice condition. Beautiful panel. The back on the very bottom has the number 1964, the date 1964 written on it, exemplifying the 64 bazooka panel that this is from the 64 season. So really nice mantle bazooka panel, PSA 4 MK with the year handwritten on the back and cut out very neatly with the borders visible all the way around. Next one we're going to look at is a very rare, it's a Topps test issue. So they put these out in the market just in a couple of regional areas to see what the popularity might be. These were put out in 1968. They're called Topps Action All-Stars stickers. The sticker is kind of a die cut of the player in the center here. The white background would just remain on there. You were supposed to peel the player off and stick it onto your notebook at school or whatever, whatever you chose to do with it. Of course, the savvy collector would keep the whole thing intact. So this is obviously Willie Mays, San Francisco Giants at this point. Has a facsimile signature Mays up here on the corner. Nice bright green and yellow bar at the bottom with the name and Giants designation there. This one's given a PSA 4, which is a high grade for this issue. These cards were issued, or these stickers were issued in 3-card panels. So you had one on top, you had one on the bottom, and then you had the one in the center. The one in the center was a full-size one-player image like the Maze is here. So Maze would have been the center panel. The top and bottom images would be 3 small player pictures on each one of those cards. So you'd have 3 on the top, 3 on the bottom, and 1 picture in the middle. And these were perforated and meant to be torn apart, so it could be in 3 different cards. Very rare to find a complete panel with all 3 still intact. Excuse me. I do have a mantle from the same set, where mantle was the individual, the center panel, and it's the complete panel still intact with the top three players on top and the bottom three underneath. Those are, like I said, very hard to find, significantly more value. But the maze here in the PSA 4 and 68 Tops All Star sticker test issue. Next one we're going to look at is another Tops test issue. It's also from 1968. And this is produced with a box of packages called Tops Plaques, Plaks, even though it probably should read Placques. But the Tops Plaques were put out for both American League and National League players. They were plastic die cuts of players that came in a molded plastic with a. It's very hard to describe what they look like unless you have one in hand to look at. But they're plastic figurines that come in a square, and they're attached to the square by little sort of arms or legs that kind of stick out and keep the player figurine in place inside the square. It's a three-dimensional item. So along with those plaques in every package, you would get a checklist. So the checklist came in two different sections. There was a National League checklist for the National League players that were issued, and there was an American League checklist for the American League players. There was 12 players of each league, 12 players from each league that were made. So there's 12 American League plaques, 12 National League plaques. Each checklist has, you can see, 6 players on the front and the identical, different players, but the identical format on the back. So this is the American League checklist. The highlight of this one is Mickey Mantle there in the bottom corner. But this one has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. This one has 6 Hall of Famers on it for the American League, which is going to be Catfish Hunter, Al Kaline, Harmon Killebrew, Frank Robinson, Carl Yastrzemski, and Mickey Mantle, who we pointed out. And these are it's number checklist 1. The National League checklist is number 2. And it says plaques 1 to 12. The National League is also plaques 1 to 12. These are generally given authentic designations by either PSA or SGC. There was a couple of finds of these over the years, just the checklist cards, uncut sheets of them, and they were hand cut, so that's why most of them will get the authentic designation on the top there, and it says evidence of trimming because it was cut by hand from a sheet. But really nice condition, 6 Hall of Famers, including Mantle. Pretty scarce Tops test issue. Okay, so I saved the 3 biggest cards that we're going to look at today for last. The first one, the first of the biggies that we're going to look at is, I'll show this one horizontally. So this is a 47 Bond Bread. Might look familiar. There's a Jackie Robinson rookie in this issue as well. These are black and white. They have, some people call them rounded corners, but they're really not round. They're sort of like beveled. They have kind of flat edges on the corner. This one pictures Stan Musial, which is also a Musial rookie. Musial appears in a fielding pose, which is quite unusual. Most of his cards are issued with either portrait or batting. But this one has him fielding in a horizontal pose, which is also pretty unique. It's got a facsimile signature on the bottom here. This one received a very high grade for this issue. It's a SGC 6. I believe there's a couple higher. I believe there's an 8 and maybe a 7 or so. But a high grade Bond Bread Musial. The back on these is blank. And Musial is in this set. Yogi Berra is in the set. Another rookie. Jackie Robinson, I mentioned already. Um, a few rookies from this 47. Many people consider the 48 Bowman Musial to be his true rookie card. But this was a year earlier. The Bond bread was distributed pretty widely. Maybe not as much as the Bowman cards the next year, but to me, it qualifies for rookie card status. Mutual also has a couple of 46 issues, which predate this, but they're all extremely rare. One of them was produced in Cuba, so some people don't really consider non-U.S. cards to be rookie card candidates, although I do. He also has a Sears postcard that was put out by the Sears Roebuck and Company, the department store. They put postcards out in 46 for all the St. Louis Cardinals and all the St. Louis Browns. I believe Sears was headquartered in St. Louis at that time. So Stan Musial rookie, Bond bred, SGC 6, high grade, and the back is clean. I showed the back already. Okay, next one. Next one we're going to take a look at is another big card, um, literally and figuratively. So this one is a Jimmy Fox rookie card. This was a 1926 to 29, or some places have it labeled 25 to 31. It's a exhibit card with the postcard back, so they're typically known as postcard back exhibits. They were produced over several years, whether you go with the 26 designation or the 25 designation. They were produced for several years. These came in the exhibit vending machines. They were typically found at penny arcades where you would go to play games back in the 20s all the way through the 60s. They made the exhibits in various different series. There was earliest one started back in 21, and it was a baseball, and the exhibits were blank back. This is one of the few exhibits that had a postcard back, and I'll show the back in a minute. This one has a star, you'll notice here, between his legs underneath in the baseball field background. The star, my belief is that the star was stamped on there by the owner to identify that this card was his or hers. It was a common practice back in the early 1900s. If you owned a card, a lot of people either hand wrote their name on the card. If they had a stamp made up with their name on it, they would stamp their name on the card somewhere on the front or the back. Or some people had some sort of a symbol that they would stamp. I've seen dogs. I've seen other animals. I've seen a bear. This one just has a simple star. People did that to show ownership. So if your friends had the same card, your way of identifying which was yours and which was theirs was you wrote your name on it or you stamped it or something like that. So having the stamp on there to me is really cool. It does not take away from the value. Unfortunately, from the grading company standpoint, it affects the technical grade, and any kind of writing on the front of the card or stamping is generally going to bring it down to a 1 automatically. So otherwise, really nice condition. Jimmy Fox, horizontal pose, rookie, no creases or anything. As I mentioned, it's a postcard back. There's a little bit of writing here. Somebody wrote XXX, which probably stood for Jimmy Fox was known as Triple X. Um, and there's also a E and a 1B in the circle here. I'm not sure what that was done for. But otherwise, pretty clean back, other than the XXX, which, like I said, probably had something to do with Fox's name. So, really big pre-war rookie card, Jimmy Fox. Nothing came out earlier than this for Fox as a card. So, widely considered to be a true Jimmy Fox rookie. And the last one we're going to take a look at is the biggest one. This is a Playing Days super rare Honus Wagner card. This one has a sort of a dark red background. The glare is making it a little difficult to see. Maybe that's a little better. It's Honus in a batting pose. It's a pose that appears on a couple of his caramel cards, but not very often, maybe two or three. Like I said, this is a super rare card. It's a 1911 baseball bats is the name of the set. These cards were printed on small boxes of candy, usually caramel or chocolate inside, and this had to be hand cut off of the box. The borders on these, I've seen some with borders still intact. They have an orange color border. They also get very often confused with another candy set from the same era, 1910. It's called Orange Borders, as opposed to baseball bats. Baseball bats was the brand of candy that these came with. The Orange Borders was a otherwise anonymous brand of candy, so we don't know exactly who the manufacturer was for the Orange Borders. But this one is baseball bats. Just so you have an idea, population of this has PSA grading. PSA has graded none of them, or PSA has graded one of them. Sorry, one authentic, similar to this, that was trimmed down with no borders or anything. SGC has graded a total of 4, including this authentic example. There's 3 others, I believe, that received a 1, a 1.5, and a 2. So there's 3 SGCs higher than this one. There's this one, and there's one PSA, which is also authentic, and nothing in the CGC or Beckett populations. So total universal population for this card is 5. This one in the background above his head, you can see kind of like, it looks like kind of scuffed, like a scuff mark there. This appears to be another case where an original owner probably wrote their name there to show ownership, and then maybe later on realized that, that's kind of detracting from the card, so they kind of tried to erase it maybe, or something like that. So it's kind of a part scuff, part marking on there above his head. The back of the card has a little dot here, which I think was just on the cardboard. It's just part of the cardboard they used for the printing. Otherwise, the back is really clean. And this was not cut very straight. You can see the borders on top is really rough. The borders on the sides are not straight either, nor the bottom. But something like this, if it comes up and it's a card you've been looking for in your collection, you could be looking for this card for the next 10 years, and you may not come across another one. This is the kind of card that you buy. You buy it when you see it, pretty much in any condition, because the chance of finding another one is extremely small. This particular example, the full-size card would actually, just below where it's been cut off on the bottom border there, just below that would be printed Wagner and Pittsburgh on the card. So the card is actually missing about a quarter of the card at the bottom, which is where the Wagner Pittsburgh would be. So not only is it missing the borders all the way around, but it's missing the bottom, like I would say 20-25% of the card with the Wagner Pittsburgh. That being the case, it enabled me to pick this up at a relatively more affordable price than if the card was not trimmed and not missing the bottom 20 or 25%, and it had the name in there. Probably would have cost me multiple times more than, what I paid for it. But super rare, Playing Days, mid-career Honus Wagner, batting pose, baseball bats, candy. SGC obviously graded it authentic. They would never give it a number grade with the borders and everything missing. And obviously, minimum size not met. Okay, so it's not going to measure close to what the full card should be. So, super rare Honus Wagner, the last item I'm going to show today from my personal collection. Hope you enjoyed and liked everything I had to show. And enjoy your day. And I'll catch you guys on the next one.